Okay, so while everyone is coming on in, I am just going to go ahead and just introduce myself. If you don't already know, my name is Yvonda Smith. My Instagram handle is Yvonda Smith Beauty. But right now, I am here with my Blushington family, and I am a Blushington certified makeup artist. So I took the Blushington course, and I tell you, it has been such an adventurous ride and a good ride and a great ride, might I say, since I joined. So today, what we're gonna do, or what I'm gonna demonstrate with you, is a summer bronzed look. At this point, in my opinion, it's summertime now, right? So how can we like come out of the era of, you know, not wearing makeup, where a lot of people weren't wearing makeup, and now we're starting to wear makeup. So that is what we're gonna do. All right, is everybody excited? Yay, yay, I see the thumbs up, awesome, awesome. Okay, so real quick, let me give you, since people are coming in, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of give you a little bit of background on Blushington if you don't already know. So let me just explain that who Blushington is. I'm so excited to explain to you that traditionally, we call it, sometimes we say BC, before COVID, Blushington had traditional boutiques where the customer would go in and she would have a special event, whether it be a wedding or a special event, she'd go in and get her makeup done. But then when COVID hit, they basically had to shut down the boutiques. And that is when they pivoted to something that is right now really successful, and that is a advanced artistry makeup course. And that is the course that I took. And you can also purchase products online from a certified professional makeup artist like myself. And I mean, it's an online academy. It's really exciting. You know, things change. It's sad that things aren't the way that they used to be. But I'm really excited that this is like a new way of reaching out, a new way of learning. I think everyone is pretty much used to the whole Zoom thing now. And so that is where we are at this time. So that is a little bit of background on Blushington. So it was like the best decision that I have made for myself, at least, because one thing that I have benefited from by joining Blushington is that before I was just a makeup artist, not a whole lot of followers, but I was an active, or, you know, makeup artist going into department stores, etc. But now I have like a family of freelance makeup artists where we support each other and share what each other is doing. So I have like a community, and I'm really excited that I'm part of a community of makeup artists that support each other. So, and if you have any like questions, you can like write in the chat, you can give me like a symbol, you can give me a regular thumbs up or anything like that. Okay, so now let me explain to you before I get into anything else about Blushington, is that I already told you I have my personal shop, but what I did was I just took the course. Just want to let you know, I took the course, and the course is for experienced makeup artists or inexperienced makeup artists. So you can be someone who aspires to be a makeup artist, and you can take the course. And so I got like over $1,000 worth of skincare and makeup, and some of the products that I have and I will show you today that I'm going to use, I got in my kit. So not only did I get that much product, I was also able to get my certificate. I did the week straight of courses in 25 hours. And then I got my own shop, and then I have a supportive community. And I also want to let you know, and speaking of supportive community, I have a Blushington rep on right now, and his name is Joe, and he is here to help me with like tech issues, if there are any, and I pray there are none. And he will be dropping some of the links to products that I'm using. So if there's something that I'm using and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have that, he'll drop that link in the chat, okay? So that's a great way for us to communicate today or this evening. Just drop it in the chat and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna give you guys a second. If you have any questions, let me give you a second to ask. Okay, another thing. Oh, he says, I think we're good to start. Yes. So yes, also, if you were thinking about taking the course, you can use my code YS10 if you want to take the course yourself. All right, so now I already have my skincare on, and we're going to do the summer bronze look. So let me just kind of share with you real quick some of my skincare. So I did a peel. I do that like about 2 times a week. And that, of course, helps. What happens is as we age, you know, the skin cells don't turn over like they used to. So this is a good peel. It's from BeautyRx. And then I have the Nourishing Face Cream. I have that on right here. So he just dropped the link to that. And then with my eyes, you know, as we age, I don't know if you've noticed, but like right in this area here, it tends to get a little bit darker, especially right in the corner. So this is an exfoliating eye cream. So I like to kind of tap it right in this area. And then I take it on around. You can even apply some in the lid. So you really want to make sure that you put some hydration in the eye area before you do any like concealer. Because just remember, there's no sebaceous glands in the eyes or the lips. And whenever you're dealing with that, that area tends to get dry, and you'll start to see like a cracky, and it just doesn't look as pretty until you add moisture, okay? All right, so I'm all set as far as my skincare is concerned. So if you're looking for a good skincare, just let us know. It's in the chat. Now, once I finish skincare, I like to start with color correction, all right? So have you ever seen, this is the Stila color correcting palette, all right? I don't know if anybody's already using this, but I'm getting ready to go ahead and use it. I'm going to start on one side of my face, and just, it's just something that I like to do before I even start putting everything else on. It just makes a lot of sense to just color correct. So I want you to look under my eyes here. You might see, and I see some of you putting your skincare on. Yay, you're following along, awesome. All right, so right in this area here, as you see, it's a little darker. I'm going to just kind of fill in the, oh, I see someone says she got it in her kit, and thanks for being on. Awesome. This is what I'm talking about, like a supportive community. So some other Blushington makeup artists are on today. So thanks so much for joining. All right. So right now I'm using the red corrector. Now it has different colors, of course. So I, of course, am in the dark to deep coloring. But if you're more fair, you would do like the yellow or the peach coloring, depending on the amount of, or the coloring that you see under your eye area. The whole goal is to just neutralize the discoloration that is underneath the eye area. So I know you see that orangey looking, you're probably thinking, what in the world is she doing? Especially for people who, and I'm gonna tap a little bit on the lid too. Again, as we age, guess what happens? You get discoloration on the lid. So in a minute, you're gonna see that it's not as discolored. Neutralizing is what I'm doing right now. I'm still tapping it in the darkest orangey red color for right now. Okay, so you see it's not blended in at all. So I'm just gonna take my brush, and right now, I just want you to know, I am using my brushes. So in that kit, remember I told you about that kit? Like you get an entire set of brushes when you take the class with Blushington. So, you know, a lot of times you're getting a piece here and a piece there. It's really nice to get a full kit. And I use all of my brushes literally every single day. So it's a good thing. It was great to add to my kit. So I love the brushes too. And they wash really well. I actually just use a little bit of Dawn to wash my brushes, and I'm done. Okay, so as you can see right now, I don't know if you can see a difference, but already it's looking neutralized underneath and around my eye area. And then what I'm gonna do is take a little bit of this, like a little bit light yellow powder. Someone said that that's what they do. Yes, Carla, thank you. And I'm just gonna just tap it just to kind of set it right around like so. So right now I'm neutralized in the eye area, all right? So the next question is, where else do you have discoloration? Do you have discoloration on your cheeks? I do, all right? I'm not gonna do the entire cheek, but there are a few areas. I don't know, let's talk about this spot. I'm not gonna talk about this big chunk right here because it's a lot. And me personally, a lot of times I don't even take the time to do that because I'll kind of use it in contour. But down here, if you see like that dot, let me take a little bit of this orange and I'm gonna just tap it right there, okay? So then I'm gonna take my brush and you'll see with my skin coloring, it neutralized it. You see that? Pretty cool. So now what I can do is take a little bit of that yellow and just kind of neutralized it. So there are other areas. Sometimes around the mouth, you'll notice, especially with women that have melanin like myself, you'll notice some discoloration. Even on the chin area. And you know what, ladies, I'm in my late 40s, so I like to make sure that I let people know that I'm dealing with issues of needing anti-aging, just like a lot of us, you know? Not everyone is 20. So when you're younger, a lot of times you don't have these issues, but as you age, you'll notice, this is the issue. Anybody else agree with me? Things change as you get a little older. And especially when you have melanin, you'll notice that you can definitely, Pamela says, yes, indeed. Yes, Pamela. Yeah, it's not as easy as when you were like a teenager. All right, so now all I have on is basically two things. I have on the color corrector in orange for my skin tone. All right, now if you're a little bit lighter, you're gonna go over here or here, okay? And then I use like that yellow powder to kind of set it a little bit, okay? So, and this is the Stila color corrector, one of the best investments as far as get rid of the discoloration first, and then you go ahead and, you know, put some makeup on, okay? All right, so now, one thing that I like to do once I've got that done, I wanted to do something a little bit different. For those of you who love to follow different Zoom classes, I am going to do a little bit of, give me a second, a little contouring, all right? So right now I'm going to, have you ever heard of contouring underneath before you even do the foundation? Sometimes you can do that and guess what? It won't look as fake. Sometimes too much product shows. So with contouring, this is a little contour stick. You wanna go a few shades darker than the skin, of course. What I love about it is that it helps my forehead to not look as big when you take a darker color, and you're just going to kind of go in the perimeter area. Yes, you love underpainting, so do I. In the perimeter area. Because everything is about dimension, you know? So if I were to take my foundation all the way to the back of my forehead will look quite big. So that's why I'm taking this contour stick and I'm just doing it. And it's, as you can see, it is darker than my skin. And I'm just I haven't blended it in yet, but at least I've got it going around that perimeter area. I can even take a little bit in here, just underneath here, gets a little jowls, right? This is a way to make that area look a little thinner, okay? Awesome. And then I can take a little bit at the nose area, okay? All right. And the reason why I do this, and even a little bit up here. All right, so let's kind of talk before I blend it in. So for me, especially having more mature eyelids, I have a little puffiness in this area. So I took a little bit of that contour color and just even put it in the eye area because it helps to create some dimension to the crease of my eye, all right? So now what I'm gonna do is kind of blend it in that eye area, blend it in the nose area. And mind you, I haven't put any foundation on yet. And now I'm going to buff out. So now with this other brush that comes in my kit, This is the brush number 959. Now I'm gonna just buff out so it looks as natural as possible. The reason why I'm doing the contour along the cheek area is, you see, like kind of like from this part of the ear on, it's already a little bit dark. So I'm gonna kind of use that to help to create the illusion of a lift. Because what happens is with age, unfortunately, you start to lose the shape of the face, okay? And then I'm going to take it on over right on this side here. And I love this brush because you see, it's very tightly wound. It's not a brush that, like, say for instance, this brush, this is too big and it's too soft. It's more of a powder brush. But this particular brush, you see how it's more tightly woven? So when you're doing something like this, you want to use it in the area where you can get a little bit of buffing. You don't always have to use like a beauty blender. I actually like this better. All right, so again, I don't have any foundation on. To recap, I have the Stila color correcting palette on. And this is not in my shop, but this is just a contour stick. I know several of you probably already have a contour stick, but this is just a contour stick. It's actually a Lancome contour stick. It happens to be, if you happen to be watching and you're about my color range, number 555. So I use that to just quickly kind of get a little something going there. All right, as far as contouring is concerned. The next thing that I want to do is use a primer. I don't know if any of you are using a primer, but the Aurorian primer is wonderful. All right, so it's a 4-in-1 primer. And so what is the purpose of priming? Look in the nose area. You might have some pores that are showing and you might not want the pores to show as much. You might have a few lines and wrinkles in the forehead. And I'm just gonna go ahead and move. So what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of that on the back of my hand. You could do that, or you can put it on a palette, however. Give me 1 second. You can use your hands, you can use a sponge, but I'm gonna use my foundation brush. So especially in this area, or you might be a person that after a few hours, your makeup starts to, you know, dissipate or something like that. So a good primer is something that you really want to invest in. And I love this primer because not only do I use it for myself, but I also use it for my clients. So I'm going in my T-zone. So just to show you what I'm doing, I'm going up in the forehead. This is where lines and wrinkles can be, and I want it to be smoothed out. I want to come down and along the nose where you can have like texture issues with the little bumps on the nose. You know what I mean? So you want to kind of just kind of go over that way, a little bit here and a little bit here. Now let's head for the cheeks. All right. It's really good to get them on get the primer on the cheeks too, because that's where sometimes those pores are in the cheek area. And another benefit to this Aurorian is that it not only primes, but it gives a beautiful radiance. So that's what I've noticed, and that's why I've been using it lately. So you see, I put it on the back of my hand. I use my brush. So it depends on your skin. Some people have a lot of pores in their skin. Some people don't. I like to take it, just take it all the way up. So my T-zone, going across. All of this is my T-zone, all right? That's where people say, oh my goodness, after 3 o'clock, I started to get oily or my makeup didn't last as much, because that's the area where more of the pores are, and that's the area where a lot of the wrinkles are. So that's why I like to just go ahead and use this particular product there, okay? All right. Okay, so now, because we're doing a summer bronzy glow, I am going to do something different. One more product before I even apply the foundation on. So the Kevyn Aucoin, I don't know if anyone ever remembers Kevyn Aucoin. He passed away years ago. He was an amazing makeup artist. He did a lot of models and all that beautiful stuff in the fashion industry. But what he left us with is just some tips on how to make the skin really look great and glow. So this is the Glass Glow Face. This particular color is the Pixie Dream. So this is also in my shop. But the Kevin Aquan is an amazing product. Let me show it to you. Thank you for dropping that for me, Joe. Let me show it to you on the back of my hand before I apply it on my skin. All right, so can everybody see that? So you can use it on your face. You can use it in the eyelids, on the lips, on your cheeks, and it's perfect for summer because the great thing about it is that it creates the illusion that you have like such a beautiful glow to your skin. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that on first, put it on underneath, you know? Let me use my little pan. Sometimes I use this. All right, so now there it is. That's the Kevin Aquan, the Pixie Cream. And I'm just gonna put it right here, all the way. So when I have photos taken, this is where I want that shine, or not shine, but I want the glow to be. A little bit on the tip, a little bit on the tip here, and I want it to be like this. You know how it kind of goes right in that area there, all right? All right, so now I'm gonna use a little bit of my buffing brush, and I'm just gonna buff it. And these are tips that you can use. This is for all different colors of skin. It's all about, you know, you want a healthy glow to your skin. So does everybody see? Do you not see that glow that this Pixie Cream color gave? I see it. It's really pretty. All right, so that's what that is. Just, you know, and you could put a little tap on the nose if you want to, but thank you, Pamela. Yes, it's very pretty. So just think, guys, right now, all I have is color correction on, a little contour stick, and this glass glow product in the color Pixie Cream from Kevin Aquan. Thank you, Sophia. I love it too. It's a great product to have. Okay, so now for the foundation. Thanks for the thumbs up. All right, so listen, guys, I don't know if you are aware, but Becca is going out of business in September. So that is very, very sad. But they still have product that is coming out. So this is the Becca, it's the Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. Thank you, Miss Atkins. So I don't know if any of you have ever tried this before, but let me tell you, this is a beautiful foundation for the summertime. Yes, we love Becca, and we're gonna be sad to see Becca go out of business. Becca is under the umbrella, I believe, of Estee Lauder, but I'm sure they have something else in the pipeline coming down. So we will miss Becca, but I know something else is gonna be coming out. But all right, so I like to shake it up a little bit. It's a pretty tall bottle that lasts a long time. All right, so it's the Luminous. So speaking of summer, we're gonna do like a luminous look, all right? So it's pretty simple. You just kind of like, it has like a dropper. You're just gonna press down, and I'm gonna get it on my little, whoop. You see that there? I don't wanna do it too much where it falls. I wanna make sure. You see that there? All right, so I don't need that much foundation. Enough is enough is enough. All right. So I've done a lot of work already. So I like to tell people, if you do quite a bit of prepping, then you'll realize you don't need so much foundation. All right, so now I'm gonna get a little bit of that foundation, and I like to start in the cheek area. I don't know where you all like to start, but I'm gonna start in this area, and it's gonna be like looking a little brighter, looking quite illuminating. I'm gonna fill it in on one side first. So listen, for those of you who are big Becca fans or just looking for a great foundation, it is on the Blushington site, and you can get it before it is out of department stores and no longer in business. So you guys kind of see what I've done so far? You see how I've worked it in? Now I'm gonna kind of go in this area here on top of the color corrector. Go on down in the chin area. If any of you have any questions, feel free to put your question up. Thank you so much for those. Oh, what shade am I using? It is called Dark Golden. I like that name. A little bit on the nose. I'm going over to the other cheek. One thing I've noticed is when you've done a great prep to your skin, you don't need so much foundation. if you're trying to put foundation on dry skin, good luck, because it's really not going to, I try not to go up in that eye area, but it's really not going to last long at all, because I try to tell people, don't forget your skin is an organ. It's alive. It has to drink. And so it's going to suck up your foundation if you don't put on some good skincare and good skin prep before you apply the foundation. So instead of a beauty balm, and you can use a beauty blender, but right now I like to use the brush and just kind of settle it into the skin. I've done so much skin prep that guess what? It just goes really well into the skin. And a little bit down in the neck area, bringing it on down. Can everybody see the difference so far? You see the difference? I look a little more balanced and even, right? Yeah, that's how I feel. Oops. Okay. Oh, thank you. Y'all gonna have me doing this every day. Thank you, Pamela. Okay, so I have I'm gonna just keep doing this because my job is to not just do it, but I want you to learn if you're here to learn. I have the color corrector on. I have a contour stick on. I have the primer on, okay, for pores and wrinkles. Because we're doing a summer glow, thanks for the love, I have on my Kevin Aquan, all right? And then I have my foundation on, all right? So that's where we are. That's the recap so far. Oopsie. I'm gonna slow down, okay? So I'm so excited to be part of Blushington because one thing that if you are kind of like new to them, that when you go into the shop, you're gonna see that predominantly all the brands in the shop when you're shopping for products are women owned. So that's exciting. That's one of the reasons why I really, fell in love with Blushington. It's women owned. And right now they're also working towards at least 15% of the products sold to be Black owned. So I'm like, yes, awesome, that's great. So just wanna let you know that. So this is the translucent powder. This was in my kit when I signed up for the class. I'm telling you guys, I can't even count how many products were in the class, but it was a lot of products in the class, okay? So I am going to use, isn't that awesome, Sophia? I'm gonna use the translucent powder right now and just kind of catch up, all right? Before I even do anything else, I'm just gonna get a little translucent powder and just kind of catch up, and you'll see it's gonna come down a little bit. All right, you see a difference? So this is literally in the drugstore, okay? This is the Revlon Color Stay. So you will see that in the drugstore, but it was one of my $1,000 worth of products in my kit. So that's that's another day to show you all the stuff that I got. All right, so right now I'm gonna put a little bronzer on. All right, so this is you gotta like help me say this name right, but I believe it's Jouer. And forgive me, Jouer, if I'm saying your name wrong. But I'm new to them as a brand, but I really love the product. All right, so this is the Deep to Dark bronzer. It's a bronzer duo, so they have bronzers in all different colors, and I'm trying to show you, but I'm really terrible. I have like dropped it a million times. Don't judge, right? So I'm going to kind of like tap it in here. I like to kind of go back and forth and just trying to start getting a little bit of the color on there. And then I also have the blush. Oh, it's the silent R for Jouer. Thank you. Who said that? It went away too fast. Thank you for correcting me, because they would probably send me a mean letter. So I'm kind of using, you see how I'm kind of going like this? I'm not going down here. I'm trying to keep it up. And now I'm going to go into, they also have, oh, they're very sweet. Oh, thank you. I hope I'm saying it right. So Jouet. Okay. So they also have blush duos in different colors. This came in my kit along with the blushes that came in my kit. I'm telling you, I got a whole lot in the kit when I took the class. And this is the color Passion. All right. So you'll see as I a little bit of this. And it's all about just getting like that bronzy highlighted summer look. And it comes in different colors. So you'd have to go to the site to shop. And you can go to my shopping. And then, hey, listen, it's summertime. So we just want to look really good when we go to dinner. Right? And a little bit. So I'm kind of staying in this area here, just going back and forth. Do you not see that bronzy, goldy richness coming in? I see you shaking your head. Do you not see the richness of this? I was like, where have they been all my life? Thank you, Blushington, for introducing them to me, because I had never heard of them. But you know what? I'm learning and learning and learning. So I'm going to move on to my smaller brush, just to kind of buff it out a little bit. And a little bit in this area here. So for those of you who are a little bit newer in the cosmetic and beauty world, I'm just working that bronzy highlight in the T-zone. Thank you, Sarah. In the T-zone. The T-zone is that area where I really focus the primer at. So same concept. I like to kind of do it in this area here, because you know how like you're out and it's like 7 o'clock and the way that the sun hits the skin, you know, this is an evening summer look. So you want to look amazing, you know, when the sun hits that skin. When we're out to dinner, right? All right, so I'm just working that in. And if you're doing your makeup along with me, you're working it in too. All right, so now I'm gonna step away from the bronzy, highlight, blushy, blah, blah, blah. Oh, one more thing. So also in the Becca world, remember Becca's really well known for their blushes. And this little pink blush is really pretty to add a little bit of a pink with the gold, and you blend it in. Because let me slow down. When you're working in the T-zone for like a bronzy highlighted look, you really want to kind of work in threes. Because when you work in threes, it helps to create dimension to the skin. So if you just put one blush on, you're not going to have any dimension. And I tell people all the time, don't forget to think of art. If you went to a museum and you saw some art and it was all one color, you'd be a little bit bored, right? But if you went to a museum and you saw that they used different colors of maybe pinks or purples or whatever, different colors or different ranges of colors in the pinks or purples or whatever, the fact that they used different colors to create one look, that is what you call dimension. And when you do that, it looks beautiful in my opinion. All right, so this particular color is Camellia, all right? So I'm going to tap just a little bit of this. So you can take a little bit of pink, and I'm telling you, I gotta like go outside and take a photo so you guys can see this afterwards. You can take a little bit of that pink right in the area. Now, I do have some people on that I specifically know are afraid of blush, but this is not looking like the lady in church with the big pink cheeks. This is mixed with gold, and it's very natural looking. Would you say so? I don't think that it looks like, oh my gosh, that looks terrible. I think it looks good. So I'm going to go back in my translucent and make sure that I take that translucent powder, because I don't want any of that highlighted below this area here. Hey, Miss Atkins, I was thinking about you. So I want to make sure that, so what happens with translucent or this particular one, when you run it along this area here, that is where you want to be flat. And then from here up, this is where I want some color to be. All right. So I'm going to do it again on this side. Got to make sure you do it on camera. It's not as easy, but thank you guys for your patience as I'm trying to work it. All right. So remember, again, on this side right here, you want that blush and color. See the different dimensions of color, but I want it to be flat here. I don't want to be shiny down here because that would be crazy. All right. So it's like smoke and mirrors, you know what I mean? So smoke and mirrors, get it? Smoke and mirrors. All right. So that's what I got going on here. Hold on one second. Are there any questions? And I'm going to put the Becca blush away. Remember, if you hadn't heard it, you heard it from me. In September, Becca's going bye-bye. Everybody's going to say goodbye to Becca in September. So now what you want to do is stock up. And I know a lot of people will be stocking up, and it will be like in August. All right. So we want to make sure that we get as much as possible. Any questions before I move on? You're like, hurry up and get to like the lips and the brow, okay? All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go in the eye area, and I'm gonna save the lips for last. All right, so I have, listen, Aurorian, this is their BB, it's like a BB pencil. I really like it. It comes in different colors. It comes in like 4 different colors. So actually I have it here. So this is the darkest. This is the yellow. This is like another like light color. So all of this came in my kit. Of course, I can't reach the next one. But let me tell you, you get so much product. It's ridiculous, and it's good at the same time, especially with myself. I'm a working makeup artist. So yes, the Aurorian Bb Crayon. So I like, this is what I like to do. Because in my brow area, you're gonna need to do a little bit of highlighting, lifting regardless. So I like to apply it in that area. But I wanna say this to you. As I have aged, and I want you to know, I did not cut off my eyebrow. Guess what? With age, the brow just doesn't grow anymore. It's gone. I don't know where it went. Okay, it's like the receding eyebrow. Okay, it's gone. So what I do is I put a little bit of this product, just like that. Okay, can you see that? Because I'm going to be going for a lift anyway. I was telling someone at Blushington today about how I love to do this, and he was like, really? Oh, that was Joe. So yeah. Yes, this is what I like to do. So then I like to take my brush and then just, and the reason why I do this is because sometimes the bare skin, it can be a little bit slick when you're applying your eyebrow. Have you ever tried to put your eyebrow pencil on and it's slicking and you can't, you're like, get it on there? So in the meantime, I just go ahead and I highlight. And I will take a little translucent and put it in that brow area. All right, I'm back to my translucent. It kind of like dries it out, you know? So I needed to do a little bit lighter because you need it to be highlighted. Helps you look more lifted. All right. Okay, so I've done 2 things in the eye area. Hold on. Hold on. Where's my stick? Oh, there it is. So I did the stick, okay, in my color. Some of you on here, I can definitely see you're lighter than me. It comes in lighter colors too, but it is an amazing investment. It's just something good. You can even throw it in your bag and it helps to touch up, under the eye. You'll see I'll use it there. But right now I use it in the brows, and then I used a little bit of the translucent powder. So now, I don't know if you haven't heard about Anastasia by now, you have been under a rock. Anastasia is really, really good when it comes to eyebrows. That is literally how Anastasia became well known. So I use the medium brown, and okay, thank you. It comes in fair and it comes in doré. So it's on the site, the different colors that stick comes in. So let's talk about the ABH, which ABH stands for Anastasia Brow. So this is the stencil pencil. So there's nothing in my brows right now. Nothing's in my brows. So right now I'm using this side of the brush. There's nothing here. There's nothing on that brush. It's just a blank brush. It's just a blank brush. And I'm just brushing the hairs. That's all I'm doing. And I tell people, you just want to start off. And you see now it's not so slick because I put a little bit of lift and a little translucent powder. So now I can go ahead and do that. But I have work to do, all right? So I have to turn it now to the side that has the color. This is the medium brown. And so what I'm gonna do is right under this area here, I'm gonna just start drawing the line and I'm gonna go up. So I don't know if you've noticed some of the new trends that what they do is they'll kind of like take that coloring and go up, 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 up. Just watch, okay? So you're not gonna do it like you're like some kind of like monster or something, but it is more of a look now, if you've noticed, where we take the hairs and it's a little bit more of a lifted look. And then I go underneath and I follow along. And I gotta put my wing on. So remember when I use that translucent powder, that is going to help me to stay on and not slip off. So I'm literally drawing that particular color on. I have to go a little bit on the top now. It's so sad. I remember when I didn't have to draw brows on. What happened? Can everyone see that? See the shape of my brow coming in there? So now let's make sure that I have it in the right place. So I know that a lot of you have been in makeup for a long time. So you want to start with the nostril. You want to go straight up. So do you see when I go straight up, I have a little bit of space. All right, thank you, Ms. Atkins. So I'm going to go straight up and I'm going to bring it inwards a little bit. Remember, brows a lot of times can be like a receding hairline. So they start to go away from the face. So you have to kind of bring them back in. If they're too far off your face, then you've lost the symmetry of the face. So the whole goal is to have a nice symmetry to your face, okay? So I'm gonna keep working on this one brow. So I'm gonna do it. You go straight up. That's about where you want it to go, all right? It's such a nice soft crayon that Anastasia Beverly Hills has come up with. She is kind of a leader in the brows, I tell you. There's a few different companies that have great brows. I have quite a few brow pencils. All right, so now that I have that on, I'm going to show you that I like to take her groomer. So this is, I hope you can read it right. This is the Anastasia. This is the brow groomer in dark brown. When you it's so easy to hold too and great to throw in your bag. So it has a little tiny brush. All I'm gonna do to help with the grooming, and it helps to give color and it also helps to stay in place, I'm going down and up and over and over and over all the way. So it helps those hairs. And of course, I'm struggling at the end of the hair area there, but I hope that you can see that. Hold on one second. All right, so I wanted you to see. So this is the brow I just did. This is how I started. So now I'm going to take both hands down. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. If you have any questions while I'm doing the other one, put it in the chat and then I will answer your question. All right, so same thing, I'm going to start here, make sure that, because some people, the brow doesn't start till out here, because with age, a lot of times it recedes off the face. So you need to bring it back over and balance with the nostril, the left or the right nostril of your nose. All right. You guys are getting quiet on me. And if you don't want to ask your question now, you can definitely, I will stay on afterwards to answer any questions for about 15 minutes afterwards, if necessary. And then I'm going to go a little bit underneath. I hope that you can see. I can see. And then we're gonna just kind of bring it over. So remember here, so once you go from here, okay, straight up, this is exactly where you wanna start. Where do you bring the lift? It's already there a little bit. So when you angle it at this way right here, that's about where the arch should be, okay? So you gotta get a little bit of a lift, but not too much. And then when you take it all the way to here, that's about where you need to bring the end to, okay? So for those of you who've been around for a long time, from here to here, all the way to here, okay? And I love this crayon because it goes on well. I believe I did help it with the translucent powder, but it stays on all day, especially once it's set. It lasts a long time, and it comes in different colors too. So if you're not as dark haired as me, there's, you know, soft brown too. So this is medium brown, then there's soft brown. There's a couple different colors that you can shop on the Blushington site in my store there. All right, let me go over again. So sometimes the challenge is, how do you get those brows to look the same? Because you know how they say they are sisters, but they're not twins. Let me get the groomer. So I've got the groomer in the dark brown, same thing, and I'm just gonna run it through. I'm gonna go from the bottom up, and it helps to give more fullness to the brow. Again, when you take the groomer, some people say, well, when you're finished with the pencil, why do you need the groomer? Well, you wanna create more of a hair-like look to your brows, and you definitely wanna create dimension. It's still always about creating dimension to every part of the face. Let me get my little. All right, so if any of you are like interested, thanks for reminding me, in advancing your career, if you would like to take a Blushington course, they are signing people up right now and it's doing good. So you can use my code YS10 and you can get a 10% discount off of the class. All right, so this is like one of the products in there. You even get, look, see, I use this for my clients. This is the Blushington mirror. Woo! Okay, so just to kind of check it out. All right. Any questions on brows? Brows can be tough. And let me tell you, for those of you who might have like a little bit of gray in the brow, the groomer helps even with gray. I mean, I've even seen people buy it where they've given this groomer to their husband, because sometimes, you know, even men have like those grays in the brows. All right, so now that we're done with that, now what I want to do is move on to my lids. So before I get my eyeshadow on, I want to use the eye primer. I don't know if you've all heard of the Anastasia Eye, you can call it eyeshadow base or eye primer, but it's a wonderful product, okay? So, hold on, let me get my little palette. I'm just gonna put it on there. Here it is, right here. I'm just gonna kind of show you real quick too why, because I hear a lot of people say, what is the purpose of using an eye primer? I just slap that eyeshadow on, right? So I'm gonna show you the back of my hand. So here we have it. You have the eye primer, all right? So this particular color goes for any color, okay? From the fairest of fairest to the darkest woman out there can definitely use the Anastasia Eye Primer. So I have it there, and I'm going to be showing you on, this is what I use, the Soft Glam palette. I love this palette. I just used it yesterday on a bride, okay? So this is the coloring of it. So what I'm gonna do right now is show you why you wanna use a primer. So I'm gonna take one of the colors, and actually I'm gonna use like this one right here. And I'm gonna take that color and I'm gonna put it on the area where I have the primer. And then I'm gonna take that same color and I'm gonna put it on the area where I have my skin, just nothing. So do you see how the primer, it's almost like if you go to the nail salon, I don't know if that was a great color to show, demonstrate, but my point is that when you use a primer, it helps you to get more payoff out of your eyeshadow. So like, have you ever gone to like a cheap store and you put an eyeshadow on and then like you tell people you have on eyeshadow and they're like, really? I can't see it. I don't see your eyeshadow. And one reason it might be a cheap eyeshadow, but the other reason is you really could have benefited from using an eyeshadow primer, okay? So I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use the primer. All right, so let me show you how to use it. I'm gonna start, I have it on my little brush. So this is the brush number 936. And I'm gonna start and apply it right in the center of my lid. And one thing that I don't wanna do is I don't want that primer to go all in this area here. The area where it's the flattest, or the area where when you open up your eye where people will see that part of the lid, that is where you want most of the color to pop. Because when people see that lid coloring, they say, oh, I love that gold shadow, or I love that pink shadow, but they never talk about the color in here. They always talk about this. So a lot of times in beauty world, we call that the money color. All right, so where I'm putting it, it's quite white, but don't let that scare you, because it's just like if you, for those of you who go to like the nail salon, and you know how you say to the nail lady, can you put like a white on first so that this particular color will look brighter on my nails or my toes? Same concept. And then once you have it in, you can just take the warmth of your finger and just tap it in. All right, so now I'm going to do the other one. And you see how it starts adjusting once you have it on. You see how it doesn't look as stark as it does on this side. And then I'm going to take the warmth of my finger, whichever finger you choose, and I'm just going to just tap it in. That is it. Let me know if I missed any questions, because I kind of had my head turned. Did anybody have any questions? All right, so one tip that I always say, this is the Anastasia palette. All right, it's wonderful. It's called Soft Glam. I use this on people who are the whitest of white fair to the darkest. That's what I love about this palette. You know, when I use it professionally, I have two of them. Listen, let me tell you, when I got my palette from the Blushington Academy, when I got the entire kit, that's what I mean. This palette was in there. And I literally was like this. I have it out right now. I said, I already have one, but I'm so excited now I have two, because I already had been using this exact palette. So it's like confirmation that I did a great investment for my kit when I'm working, but now I have it for like work, and then I have it for myself. So I'm really excited about that, okay? So, all right, so let me go ahead and get some shadows on. And we're gonna do gold. All right, so we got about 15 minutes left, and I'm going to do the darker right in this area here. And the reason why I'm doing darker here is because what it does is it helps to kind of like pull back, or push back, excuse me, so that the eye stands out. And then I am going to go, because we're doing the golds, go for the gold on the lid. All right. And now I'm gonna blend it out, because we're doing bronzy. All right, and so now, so those are the darker colors in the Anastasia palette. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of a brown, put it on a smaller brush. This is brush number 780, and I'm gonna run it underneath. I'm gonna take a little bit of the darker and just run it in the corner there. Because we can go out with this look. All right. Now I'm gonna take my Stila eyeliner in Jade, which is a very beautiful dark black eyeliner, and it's smudge proof. And I'm gonna go right on the lash line, right on top of it, and kind of bring it on out. And I kind of just go like that. Can you guys see the difference there? It's starting to open up my eyes. So I'm gonna do the smudge proof Jade Stila pencil on the other eye. I'm just gonna like go to dinner after this, I tell you. Looking good. Nice and bronzy. All right, and then of course it's smudge proof. I like to take a little bit of that color in the waterline. This is like a sexy summer evening look. All right, and then I'm gonna go with, this is the Stila, hold on, I can't remember the name of it, of course now. The huge Extreme Lash Mascara. Yes, I did make just a little wing, not too dramatic. I love this because this mascara is so black. I'm starting from the root. One of the things you definitely want to do is not just twinkle your mascara. You want to start from the root and then comb through. You want to go comb through, comb through, comb through it. Don't be shy, and don't do it too fast. You do it too fast, and guess what? You're not going to get the right payoff. And then on the bottom, you can take a little bit on the top and just go back and forth. But I tell people, slow it down when you're doing your mascara, because you want to make sure that you, I mean, it's your eyes. Go almost like as if you're in the tight line area, which is almost like underneath. You want a little bit of that deep, dark black to touch so that it helps to make those eyes look more open and vibrant. Because one of the things that happens is that, you know, as you age, your eyes don't look as vibrant and bright as they used to be. And one of my little tricks that I like to do, especially when I'm about to go out, is I'll take like a little bit of Visine and I'll just kind of tap it in my eyes, just to kind of clear up the eyes, and they look more vibrant, and it helps my makeup to look better. So there's a little side tip. Let's get that from the drugstore. And you see how I just do a couple coats, just a few coats. Can you see that? All right, so remember when I, at earlier time, did the color corrector underneath? So here is the Becca Concealer, okay? And I'm gonna take that right here, and I'm gonna also take it in this area. So no longer are we doing the big V of product. We're gonna take just a little bit here, and a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here, so that we don't have too much, but we wanna create the look of more of an illusion, all right? And we want to look more lifted, but we don't want too much product. And then take that out. And you can take the warmth of your finger too. Never feel like you can't do that. And I'm going to do the other side. And then I'm going to go up right here. And the reason why I'm going up is because guess what? As we age, that's all we want. We want everything to go up, because unfortunately gravity brings things down. You know what I mean? So And I'm just kind of cleaning up here with my brush. All right, so now I'm gonna take a little bit of color and put it with my translucent powder. Take a little bit with my powder, my translucent, because I like to make sure that there's no creasing underneath and it's nice and flat. And let it kind of hit on the sides of the nose. When it hits there, guess what happens? It helps with the dimension of the face. The translucent powder looks flatter. Can you see that? All right. Well, moving on to lips. I just saw this in Macy's the other day, but guess what? This was in my kit. So this is one of the many hundreds of things that came in my kit. And it's like a two-sided or double-ended lip duo. So on one side, you're gonna have the color, all right? And on the other side, you have the gloss, all right? So what you're gonna do is kind of just start in the center there. And the one thing that we're doing now, because everybody wants to know what's the trend, we're not so much dipping it into the bow of the lip, we're kind of like taking it across. Uh-oh. All right, so that is color number one. And now on the other side of it is a gloss. You're gonna take that gloss across the lip. I love this color. Can you guys see that? See? All right, so one more thing. Do you remember the Kevin Aqua, the Pixie Cream color? Well, I'm gonna take a little bit of that, put it on the back of my hand, all right? Oh, thank you, Sarah. And guess what? I'm gonna put a little bit of that right in the center here of my lips. Because remember, like I said before, everything is about dimension. And on this particular, in this particular color, the Kevin Aqua, let me show it to you on the back of my hand. Look at here. It has like this beautiful illuminating look. All right, so I use that as a gloss. I used it underneath my foundation, and then I even used it on my lips. So now what I'm gonna do is make sure that everything is nice and clean with the foundation brush, and I'm gonna just kind of clean up. Give me a second here. Sometimes when that happens, you just gotta go. See that there? That means I did a little bit too much, going too fast. Because you don't want it to wind up being like all over your teeth. All right, let me get a little bit more of my translucent powder and just kind of go right in that area like that. Okay. All right, guys, so listen, if you are interested in taking the advancement course for makeup artistry, don't forget to use my code because at least you can say that I told you about it. I took the week-long, whatever it is, so use code S10 for, you can use Yvonda 10 when you click one of the product links in the chat. And then what we'll do is we'll send you like an email of like the links and everything. Yvonda 10, you can use that at the checkout. But does anyone have any questions? Because guess what? I have on my summer bronze look. I can go out to dinner right now. I like it, you know what I mean? That Luminous foundation is really, really pretty. It just gives a beautiful glow to the skin, but remember, I did prep it. All right, so listen, please follow me at Yvonda Smith Beauty. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. all of you are going to receive an email from us today, just in case. So thank you so much for the positive. Listen, for those of you who like to follow the classes, our next class is June the 30th, and it's going to be Brittany that's going to be teaching the class. So she's an amazing teacher. You will learn a lot. So I hope that you have learned something from me today. If not product knowledge, then some type of technique. Listen, I am going to hang out. I'm not going anywhere. At this time, I just wanted to say thank you so very much for joining. I really appreciate your time. But guess what? I'm going to hang out for those of you. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate you. For those of you that might have any questions, I will not go away quickly. I'm going to sit right here for any questions. Other than that, thank you guys so much for joining. Bless you, and happy shopping, and happy new techniques that hopefully you learn. Bye, Miss Atkins. Bye, ladies. Woo! You guys were fun. What did I put under my eyes? I used the color correcting palette, and then I used the Becca, hold on, what did I do? The Becca, I used the Becca Concealer. So remember, it was one of the first things I did. I corrected the discoloration. So when you open up the Becca Concealer, for that lady that just left the question, so it depends on the range of your skin. So for those that are dark to deep like myself, you want to use this orange. If you're like fair skin, you want to use like the yellow. I'm gonna do that. If you're like light, you want to use the yellow, medium, like pink, and then like this color here. It just depends on what you're seeing. If you're seeing a little bit of purple, if you're seeing a little bit of blue, but once you kind of play with it, if you're seeing like, you know, any type of different colors that you're seeing under the eyes, just give it a try, and you will definitely see that it helps to neutralize the discoloration. And then we even have like one of the little purples. This is for people who have like a lot of blue under the eyes. All right, I like to use that yellow one there too, okay? And then I use the Becca Concealer. That is what I did. I hope I answered your question. I did use a little bit of the translucent powder underneath, just so that it would stay nice and flat. I didn't want any shine to be underneath there with using different products. This mascara is wonderful. I kind of have been using a lot of mascaras that, you know, are really black, but this one here is wonderful. I love the brush. If you're looking for a new mascara, the link is in the chat. It's got a nice big brush, and I was able to kind of like, I mean, look how black it pays off, almost creating the illusion like I have on falsies. Thank you, Sarah. And you can do more than 2 coats too. Like, you don't have to be shy about it. As you can see, I'll just keep going. Any more questions? That was an eye question. Also in the eyes, for more eye questions, you know, so simple. I just used one liner. I actually planned to use 2, but you know what? For time's sake, I was like, let me just use the one. So I used this liner in Jade. It's the smudge-proof liner from Stila. Oh, and also, just want to remind you, the recording of this class is going to be on YouTube, and you can use the discount code for up to 48 hours. All right. So this is so for underneath the eye area, the coloring that I used. First, let me show you the brush. You know what happens when you've been doing your makeup? It's like, oh my gosh, I got a hot mess here. All right. So, and like I said, I literally used this palette on a bride yesterday. So if you go to my page, I'm about to go ahead and post the bridal pics the bridal shoot that I did yesterday. So this is brush number 780, and it's so tightly wound. It's like, you know, that's what you need. It's almost like a Q-tip, right? So then I just took this color here, and then a little bit of that one and just ran it underneath. So it's not a hard color. Now, did I use the Jade Stila in my waterline? Yes, I did. So I did it along the top of the line and gave a little wing kick, and then I used it in the waterline. And then instead of using any color underneath, I used a little tap of this, a little tap of that, a little tap of that. So of course the darker black is like a little bit more towards the corner. All right. But I love that Anastasia palette. It is, I mean, you could just use it on everybody. I mean, I literally, just to go back to it, I have on the fairy color all over the lid and then the dark. And what happens is when you age, like I said before, you get a little puffy. So just to kind of make that puffiness go backwards, I just put a little bit of the dark, switch back and forth with my brush, and then put the bronzy gold on the lid, and it came forward. Now I did take a little gold in the corners. It helps to open up the eyes. And then more of the powder underneath. Any other questions? You can use the code Yvonda10 for shopping. And if you are like on the fence, like, hey, do I need a class? Listen, I'm now a certified makeup artist. I've been a makeup artist for years, but I really needed a class to kind of help me one-on-one. Well, it was a class, it was a few ladies in the class, but guess what? We all learned together. So it's for everyone. You can be a beginner or you can be an advanced makeup artist. But even the fact that we all keep in contact now, especially with social media, reposting and commenting and liking on each other's posts, it's a great community to be a part of. It was definitely worth it. So thank you so much for joining today, everybody. Since there's no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe, for all your hard work. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.